Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night broadcast sponsored by DE and Band of Brothers around the world. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Fat Tuesday. I just got done eating a bunch and ready for a great Lenten season. Tonight, we got an awesome speaker. If you were at the DE October, Dr. Drew Rubin rocked it, and I had never heard of him before that, and he blew me away. And then this past DE, his wife, Lisa, came in and just knocked it out of the park. So when I saw them at the conference and stuff, we got to get Dr. Drew on the Tuesday night call, and he's gracious enough to be here with us. Before we go to Dr. Drew, let's go to a couple housekeeping things. First, March 7th. Haven't done one in a long time. March 7th, we're doing a DE intensive at Life University. Starts at 10 a.m. and goes to 7 p.m. Again, that's going to be at Life. DE intensive. So if you're in that area, make sure you get down there and attend that one. That'll be awesome. Then in April, we have the DE in Clearwater Beach, Florida. That's April 16th to the 19th. On your screen, you see a QR code. That's how you can book your rooms. So book them early and book them often because this one will fill up fast. It's going to be beautiful in Clearwater Beach in April. So make sure you get signed up for both the DE intensive and the April DE in April 16th to the 19th. Now, we're just, weeks away or weeks past the last DE. Make sure you have any questions, jump in and call people, ask people questions, celebrate your wins with the purple team or whatever team you're in. Obviously, the purple team's the best. If you don't know what team you are, join my team. It's the best team of all. It's purple. But no, seriously. Now you're going to start having stuff come up. Reach out to your team. Ask them for help or celebrate the victories. Hopefully there's a lot of victories to be celebrating. So now for no further ado, Dr. Drew Rubin, he has been in practice since 1989, a Life College graduate. He's been speaking, or he practiced in New Jersey for 12 years. Since 2001, he's lived and practiced in Atlanta as well as taught at Life University. He also speaks for the ICPA, has been doing that since 2013. He's just a giver, a lover, a server, and a descendant of Dr. Sid's. And again, I didn't know him till about 6 months ago, and I am wowed by what I've seen. So I want to share him tonight. So no further ado, let's give it up for Dr. Drew Rubin. Thank you, sir.
Hi, everybody. I am so excited to join you guys. So honored and flattered that Andy chose me to speak for the Band of Brothers and DE on Tuesday night. Thank you so much. And before I go on I have a little PowerPoint philosophy presentation I hope you'll enjoy. But before I go on, I just got to tell you, that last DE was something. I had been sick for a while with this, whatever it was, and DE literally healed me. By the time I was crazy sick when I first started, and by the time DE was done, it was starting to kind of leave me, and it's wow, right? So I was healed by DE, and that's not the first time because I've been going back and forth DE since July 1993. And if we can go to the slides, Daniela. Today, what I want to do is I want to kind of share with you something really, really cool that I collect green books. And when Dr. Austin Davis was talking about what happened in Montana, he really blew me away on Saturday morning. First of all, my wife was amazing on Saturday morning, I have to say, Dr. Lisa. And it was amazing just watching her. I don't get a chance to see her talk, as much. So it was really kind of cool to watch that. But anyway, so Dr. Austin Davis, he really just floored me. And he made me start thinking, because he's talking about like how Montana, they wanted to put drugs in the profession and they had to defeat it, and they defeated it over and over and over and over again. And it made me start thinking, like, where did this battle start? Like, where did it come from? So I love going into green books. I have a whole collection of green books. So I started digging, and I said, like, how did the chiropractic profession become the drugless profession? Like, what do we do? How do we position ourselves? Right? So this. I started digging into the green books. This is me in front of I have every one of the green books, except for if anybody has anything. I'm looking for a modernized chiropractic, So if anybody has, it's not really a green book, but it was the first one. Thank you, Louis. So she was amazing. So anyway, I have all these green books, and I want. I started digging through them. I said, where did all this stuff come from? And this is what I came up with. And I also asked one of my friends. I have a friend who he wrote the book that I don't know if you can see there on the bottom right there, but he co-authored a book about the green books called the Palmer Green Books. And I said, what, can you send me something about this stuff? So he sent me something from Dr. Simon Sensen, who's an amazing speaker. And about this is Shigeruto Morikubo. And this was the first major victory in chiropractic. So remember, you all know like 600 people were jailed, right, for practicing medicine without a license. Well, he was one of those people who purposely tried to get himself sued to create this lawsuit back in 1901. And what he did is he was friends with B.J. Palmer. And B.J. Palmer worked with, he had created the Universal Chiropractic Association, which later became the ICA. He created the Universal Chiropractic Association, and he worked with the legal team with Morrison Holmes, and they created this like ironclad way to defeat the medical community that was suing Morikubo. And I picked up this green book. It's the Green Book, volume number 17. Malpractice is applied to chiropractic by Holmes, who's he's one of those two guys from the attorneys from the UCA. And this is the defense they came up with. This is amazing. This is amazing. This was why what Dr. Davis did in Montana was so cool, because what they came up with was this concept of separate and distinct. So to quote from that book from the lawyer, Mr. Holmes, the question now comes, why is it necessary to prove chiropractic is separate, distinct, and different school or system of medicine in a malpractice case? Because when chiropractic has been established as a school separate from allopathists, homeopaths, and osteopaths, then the chiropractor's actions are judged according to the standards of chiropractic school or system and not according to those other schools. The learning and skill required is then learning and skill of the ordinary chiropractor, not the physician or surgeon. And that was the argument back then, is they were saying, well, they're just doing the same thing that the medical doctors are doing. And it's not really what was happening. This was the positioning. We are separate and distinct. Continuing from that book, chiropractic is now a science unto itself. It is a separate and distinct from allopathic medicine, from osteopathy, or any other form of system of healing. It has its own particular methods of ascertaining the cause of dis-ease. I love that. And its own particular means of eliminating the cause and allowing innate to restore a patient to health. This is from a lawyer, right? This guy's got it, right? This guy has totally got it. And the last thing from that book, to fulfill the responsibility to profession, chiropractors must be careful that every act and every word should be such as to elevate the profession, right? So what we say and do should elevate the profession. The chiropractor in each town in which he practices stands as a representative of the chiropractic profession, and his every act, including his morality, will have some bearing upon the way the people of the community think of chiropractic. And listen to the ending of this. Is this this is what Dr. Austin did by defeating the people who wanted to put drugs in our profession? He did something for humanity, right? He did something for humanity. And this is what they were doing back in 1901. They came up with this concept to say, what could we do to make chiropractic separate and distinct from what they're doing? And what's crazy is that it's happening over and over again. It's happening in Montana. It's happening in Florida right now. It happened in Arizona. This is the idea that we are this amazing drugless profession is just holding on by a thread. And thank God for people like Dr. Davis who are able to do this to keep us separate and distinct, because why do we want to be like them? I don't want to be like them. I don't want to give drugs out. Like, that's totally crazy. So I'm so appreciative of what the Montana Chiropractic Council did for chiropractic, right? And then this is from another amazing green book called The Science of Chiropractic. And what it says is, and I can hardly read this because it's so small, but I'm going to try to get this, read this to you because I need stronger glasses apparently. I would state that the two sciences above, which is chiropractic and osteopathy, are as distinct from each other as regards to application as day is from night. And I can't read the rest of it. But this is that Chiropractic is not osteopathy. Chiropractic is not medicine. Chiropractic is chiropractic. And I've been in practice now 37 years, and I have seen the amazing miracles. You know what was one of the coolest things? I'm a pediatric chiropractor, so even though I take care of families, I just love taking care of kids and pregnant mamas. On Friday, it was the coolest thing. We had 5 newborns in a row as patients. It was just the neatest thing. One newborn after another, and then the last newborn is the third generation in that family. So we saw the grandma and the mom who just had the baby 3 days ago, and then the itty bitty little 3-day-old baby. Like, wow, that's what chiropractic is. That's what chiropractic is, right? I don't do what they do, and I don't want to do what they do. Let them do what they do because they do that, and that's their thing. My thing is the adjustment, right? People ask me, well, do you use this? Do you use this? No, I adjust. Well, what else? I don't do anything else. I turn the power on. And that is what chiropractic is all about, is turning the power back on. It says in Stevenson's, and we all know Stevenson's books, like you probably are all very familiar with his book. And if not, you really should get Stevenson's textbook. It's another amazing one of the green books. Though chiropractic is back in 1927 when he wrote the book. Though chiropractic is young comparatively, it is nonetheless a well-developed science with proven facts and plausible theories based upon those facts and precise art, all in the systematized knowledge and a distinct field of investigation or object of study, right? Separate and distinct. And that's what we need to do. We need to keep chiropractic separate and distinct. No matter what happens, we have to fight the idea that drugs can come into the profession. That's okay. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't mix. Let them do that. Let us keep with the one thing that we should do, which is removing subluxations, turning life on, turning power on, right? What did BJ say, right? We never know how far-reaching something we may think, say, or do will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. That do is the adjustment. Plus, it's also talking about the adjustment, talking to people, talking it up, making sure that parents understand why it's so important to bring their kids. And like this beautiful mom is bringing her 3-day-old baby in to see me, right? She's got it. And because she's been adjusted since she was 3 years old, right? So it makes sense that I have a picture of her up on the wall when she's 3, and now she's bringing her little 3-day-old baby. Wow. That's chiropractic, right? That is chiropractic. We need to keep chiropractic separate and distinct, right? Because there's Mabel and BJ and Dee Dee and David, right? This is the chiropractic family that we're keeping. We're trying to keep it unsullied. Remember that? Guard it well, right? Right? Guard it well. This is what we are asked to do. And this is what Dr. Sid asked us to do, is to keep it unsullied and undefamed and to guard our principles, right? That's what he taught us. I remember in that July 1993 DE, my first real DE, I went to a couple times as a student, but really my first real DE was this July 1993 DE. I remember Dr. Sid saying, I accept all cases, regardless of condition or financial ability. What a different way to think, right? He didn't say, I accept all cases who have really good insurance, right? Or I have all cases who have Blue Cross, Aetna, and Medicare. He didn't talk about that. He talked about, I accept all cases. Because what we do, could you imagine, like what Dr. Sid used to say, and BJ used to say, if we can just get everybody adjusted, that's my goal, is I want to see more and more people adjusted. I want to see more and more kids adjusted, because what happens is when you get the kids adjusted, then they bring their kids in later when they have kids, right? And I just saw that last Friday, was the mom who just had a baby who's been adjusted since she was a kid and been adjusted for 25, 27 years. She brings in her baby when the baby's a couple of days old because she gets it. And that's what we need. We need to build chiropractic warriors who get it. But it's because we've kept it separate and distinct. It hasn't been like, hey, or come in when you have back pain, right? That's not chiropractic to me. Chiropractic to me is come in forever. Come in. Like, when should I stop? When you can't come in anymore, right? That's when you should stop. You should keep on going and going and going, because we have this huge mission to fulfill. Like, think about what Dr. Sid started with, right? He started, like, I teach at Life University, and I think about like the giant property that he has. It started with a couple of rooms in one of the buildings that's now like the admin building, right? It's crazy to think where that vision is, right? What's your vision? What's your vision of how we're going to keep chiropractic separate and distinct? And just for you guys to know, thank you, Paul. Thank you. Just for you guys to know, I have a podcast. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this in October. I have a podcast. If you're interested, it's totally free. I just give it all away. I put my talk on this from DE in October. I put my wife's talk last week, and we posted it. We've got a whole bunch of listens to it. It's amazing. So I love this kind of stuff. To me, and you know what's cool about podcasting is it's not just about you guys listening. My patients listen. My patients listen, and they come and say, I heard your podcast, and I loved it. And I told my friend to listen to it, right? Who doesn't come, and now they're going to start coming as a patient, right? So to me, this is just another way to get our message out there, because my whole goal, like Paul just said, chiropractic warriors, my whole goal is we got to protect our future, right? Because here's a little girl. I've been seeing her since when she was in the womb of her mom. And there she is adjusting Mickey Mouse. And look, she's got a high volume practice. She's got Minnie Mouse waiting, right? She's got Minnie Mouse waiting. And I've had other kids come in we had one kid come in a couple of weeks ago with like a whole boatload of dolls, and they lined them up on the thing. And we have these little chiro clickers, and they go, tick, 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 tick. And we're teaching these kids high volume practices before they even know what that even means, right? Because if you start the kids young, then they get it and they want to do it and they love it and they fight to go who's first on the table, and they bring their dolls in to get adjusted. Or if they don't bring dolls in, we'll give them dolls because we have dolls for them adjust. And they want just dolls, they adjust other patients. We have a patient yesterday who was lying over here, and all of a sudden this one little kiddo was taking a chiro clicker, and she's like, oh, I got a little helper, right? That's what we want. You want to protect our future, we got to adjust more kids, right? And that's my brain. That's my brain. It says we got to see more kids because the kids are our future. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this little philosophy session inspired you as to why and how we became the separate and distinct profession. And now I turn it back to Andy, and thank you guys so much. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to present to you guys.
Hey, Doc, that was awesome.
Thank
you are speaking to the choir.
Yes.
But we need the people on the quote unquote other side of chiropractic, not in medicine, in chiropractic, to understand and remember separate and distinct.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, I've been battling that when I worked with the ICA and all that stuff. If you want to battle, if you want to change chiropractic, go do something else. Don't try to change us, right?
Right.
It's very simple. It's separate, distinct. It's a science unto itself. Mm-hmm. It's not like, hey, we're joining these people. Let's get in their tent. No, we're separate and distinct. You do you. Leave us alone. Let us do us. I love that. And then, like you said, doing it for humanity. Mm-hmm. Elevate the profession, but ultimately you're doing it for humanity. So awesome, so powerful. That was great, man. One of the green books, History Repeats. This is up going on forever and ever and ever. History repeats. But what I love about you said, build the high volume practice with those kids.
Yeah.
And I think the mission for me, the mission of DE, is make it to where we can have a room full of 600, 700, 800 high volume practices.
Mm-hmm.
History repeats itself, and then we don't have those battles because nobody really wants to do all the BS. If they want to do the BS, they would have gone to medical school. They're doing the BS because they can't afford to pay the bills because they're not high volume practices. So we got to build the certainty within ourselves and then history repeating. And you know what? That will all go away, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I see it.
But I hope you're right, because I love that. And to me, what you said before reminded me of something Walter Sanchez said at the last meeting. He said, ADO, right? ADO. He said, ADO is my science.
Right.
And I remember him saying that. And I wrote it down like, wow. I always say chiropractic is our science is our science. But it's really not just chiropractic. It's the above, down, inside out philosophy. That's the science. Because there are a lot of people who take chiropractic and they skew it into their own version of whatever they think chiropractic is.
Right.
Exactly. But ADO, you can't change that. Above, down, inside out, that is truly the foundation of what it is we do. And when he said that, I was like, yes, Walter.
It's distinct. It's a science unto itself. You know, you
Right.
don't add ADIO with peptides. You know,
Right.
it's ADIO, period. Right. I mean, and what I love about Walter is Walter's a very simple man. He just like, okay, this is what I do, and I go with it. And guess what? His practice in his life is abundant because he doesn't question. He just right here. You know, love it. Love it.
Yes. To me, there's nothing better than us talking about, like, sometimes people say, well, we don't need these green books. The green books are old and it's outdated and 1900s. No, but this brings us back to how we started, right? And you're right. The history repeats. We've been fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting since 1901. We've been fighting this kind of thing, and we're gonna have to keep on fighting. We're gonna have to keep on fighting until, like you said, Andy. Hopefully, someday, that there'll be a time where chiropractic stops fighting, and the people who want to do something else will just do something else.
Just go,
and we can be what we want to be and not be bothered.
Right, 100%. Hey, you know, sometimes short and quick punches are powerful. You did a great night. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, tell Lisa again, we all appreciate her presentation. It was beautiful. And I guess this is it for everybody. So good night, everybody. Love you and see you next week. Thanks,
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
God bless you.
Thank you.